to Historic Eats, where I recreate recipes from the past and share the backstory of how the recipe came to be. Well, it is Easter time, and so I'm making a traditional Italian favorite known as Pizza Rustica or Italian Easter pie. Pizza Rustica has been around for hundreds of years, and it's traditionally served around Easter time with the breaking of Lent. It's chock full of an assortment of Italian meats and lots of cheese served together with eggs, and it's baked in this beautiful, flaky, buttery crust. It is absolutely delicious. Historic Eats is all about sharing authentic recipes and giving the backstory of how they originally came about. So if you enjoy truly traditional recipes, click subscribe because I have so many more that I'd love to share with you. Now you can take a lot of liberty with this recipe because there are so many different types of Italian meats and cheeses. So you just simply choose the ones that your family enjoys the most. And even though it's a from scratch recipe, it really doesn't take any time to make. Essentially, you're just going to make the pastry and the meat is already pre-cooked or cured. So you just cut that up and add it to the cheese and the eggs, and then everything bakes together beautifully in the oven and it'll be done in no time. And I promise you, your family will probably polish it off in no time because it is a crowd pleaser. So let's go ahead and get started on our Pizza Rustica.
To begin the pastry, start with 2.5 cups of flour. To that, add 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of oil. And then I'm going to cut in 1/2 cup or 1 stick of butter. It needs to be reasonably cold. And just cut that together like you would for pie crust. Once that's coarsely broken up, 1/4 cup of cold water. Add to that 1 egg. Whisk that to mix. And add that to the flour butter mixture. And keep some more cold water on hand in case you need more. If it's too dry, we'll add.
Once the dough is moist enough that it'll come together in a ball, go ahead and turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. And you're just going to bring the dough together into a ball and just kind of compress it without handling it too much. Fold it over on itself maybe once or twice. And then you're going to go ahead and split it into 2 pieces, but you're going to divide it in a 1/3 section to a 2/3 section. And we'll just cover that with plastic wrap. And that needs to go into the refrigerator for a minimum of 1 hour. Next, to begin the filling, you'll need 12 to 16 ounces of assorted Italian meat. I'm using 1/2 pound of ham, about 6 ounces of salami, and 3 ounces of prosciutto. And I'm just going to cube those up. Other popular meat choices include pancetta, Italian sausage, and even pepperoni. So whatever combination of meat choices you like. For the remainder of our filling ingredients, I'm going to whisk together 4 eggs. To that, I'm going to add 15 ounces of ricotta cheese, 1.5 cups of mozzarella, 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese, a half teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of chopped fresh parsley, and mix those together. And again, you can take liberty with the cheeses. It's also very common to put provolone cheese in. You could even use some Asiago. Just like a regular pizza. Pizza Rustica is a combination of whatever you like. And then finally, I'll just add in all of our chopped meat. Mix well, and the filling is ready. It's time to roll out the dough, so go ahead and preheat your oven to 425 degrees. You'll need a 9-inch springform pan. Even though this pan is non-stick, I went ahead and greased it and lined it with parchment paper because eggs and cheese can be extra sticky. So set that aside. So flour the surface and begin rolling out the first part of the dough, which is the larger of the two. This will take a few minutes because the dough is really cold, so it's going to take a little bit of time to stretch. Once it's reached about 17 inches in diameter, it's ready to go. And you're going to have a generous overhang. Just gently push it down into the corners, and it'll be kind of folded against itself. That's fine. You just want to make sure it goes all the way over the edges of the pan. And if you have any cracks or holes, just do a little patchwork and fix it up. That looks good. Next, I'm going to roll out the second portion of dough, and this one I need to be just 9 inches round. That looks good, so I'm just going to fold that in half and set it aside. And I have my filling from the refrigerator. I'm just going to go ahead and pour that right in there. Just go ahead and press it in there, get it nice and tight into the corners. My oven just beeped, so perfect timing. And now just put the lid right on there. And what you actually do is take the outside edge from the bottom crust and fold it over. And this isn't supposed to be fancy. Maybe that's why they call it Pizza Rustica. You just want it to seal because everything is going to just bubble and boil inside there while it's baking. This looks great. I have an egg wash here of just one beaten egg, and I'm just going to paint that all over the surface and the edges. That's going to give it that beautiful, shiny, golden finish. And then with a sharp knife, I'm going to cut 4 slits in it, just like a regular pie. And this is ready for the oven. Now remember, we preheated the oven to 425 degrees. So I'm going to put this right on the middle rack in the oven, but I'm going to immediately reduce the temperature to 350 degrees. And I'm going to take a peek in at it at about 55 minutes. Make sure it's not getting too brown. If it is, just tin it with some foil, and we'll let it continue to bake. It should take a total of about 75 minutes. Just pulled this out of the oven at 75 minutes. You can see it's still bubbling inside. It's golden brown and shiny on top. It looks great. So let it cool on a rack for about 10 minutes, and then you can remove the collar. Pizza Rustica, also known as Italian Easter pie or chidone, has its roots in the Campania region of southern Italy. It dates back to the 1600s and was originally served as a breakfast dish for Easter. Like a quiche, it was made of eggs and cheese baked in a flaky, buttery crust, and to celebrate the end of Lent, it was chock full of popular Italian meats. Combinations of ham, sausage, pancetta, prosciutto, salami, and pepperoni were popular. Traditionally, pizza rustica was prepared with basket cheese, which was cow's milk cheese which was pressed through a basket. As this is hard to find today, ricotta cheese is commonly substituted. Then the addition of mozzarella, parmesan, and provolone were added for a savory flavor. And like common pizza toppings, the ingredient combinations were all a matter of preference. Pizza rustica quickly widespread throughout other regions in Italy and is popular wherever Italian food is served today. With all these indulgent ingredients, the Easter pie is a true celebration of faith and food. So here's the best part of the show, is getting to enjoy what we just made. It is so flavorful. The salami is really coming through beautifully, and the smokiness of the ham and all of the cheeses. It's just, your mouth is just full of flavor. It is delicious, and the crust is really, really nice. It is a delicious dish, not just for breakfast or brunch. I could even see serving this later in the day. And if you do happen to have any leftovers, it stores great in the refrigerator, and just simply warm it up in the microwave the next day, if there's any leftovers, that is. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the origins of Pizza Rustica, and I hope you make one yourself sometime. You won't be disappointed. It's delicious. And click subscribe if you haven't already. I have other recipes I'm working on that I'd love to share with you. And I'm wishing you a very happy Easter, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.